Thank you very much for being a part of the Uganda Catholic Television. It is a Thursday, 23rd day of May 2024. Welcome to UCTV News. I'm Sunday Gloria Aboch. Stakeholders in disaster and climate risk management have called for adequate financing for anticipatory action in disaster and climate risk management. All this was today at the conclusion of the second national dialogue on anticipatory action under the theme Navigating Uncertainty, Disaster and Climate Risk Financing at the Commonwealth Resort Munyonyo here in Kampala.
Anticipatory action is an increasingly vital component of climate and disaster risk management in Uganda, leveraging climate services and comprehensive risk analysis to foresee potential crises and implement preventive measures before disaster occurs. Emmanuel Intali, the manager of climate action and environment at the Uganda Red Cross Society, emphasizes that this proactive approach significantly enhances the management of risks associated with climate change by adverse climate events, safeguarding communities and reducing devastating consequences that typically follow unanticipated disasters.
We talk about anticipatory action. We mean very basic life-saving activities that can be done at the community level before an event happens. And that's the difference between anticipatory action and the regular disaster risk reduction interventions that we do. So for anticipatory action, we mean activities like relocating temporarily.
This involves a range of proactive activities designed to mitigate the impacts of climate change. These activities include the development and dissemination of early warning systems, conducting risk assessments to identify vulnerable areas, and pre-positioning energy supplies and resources. Additionally, community training programs are implemented to educate and prepare local population on how to respond to early warnings, and infrastructure is strengthened to withstand extreme weather events. These measures collectively enhance the resilience of communities, enabling them to act swiftly and effectively in the face of potential disasters.
We have activities like reinforcing the riverbanks for the case of floods. We have activities like planting early maturing crops for the case of drought. We have cash and voucher assistance or cash transfers that we do if we anticipate things to happen. But the difference here is what you do between today and the next few days or months when you expect a disaster to happen. Like if you got information right now that in the coming 5 days you're going to get floods, and these are going to be the impacts. So anything you do between today and then to protect your lives and livelihood qualifies for anticipatory action.
Raymond Kirungi, a disaster and risk manager in the Office of the Prime Minister, highlights the cooperative efforts undertaken with the various stakeholders to support communities through early warning systems. By coordinating with different organizations and leveraging their expertise, the government aims to provide timely and accurate information, empowers community to prepare for and respond to potential climate-related threats.
OPM is working through the different line ministries, departments and agencies. Our role as coordinators implies we have to ensure the different MDAs are achieving their tasks through supporting communities. This is in form of provision of early warning. We have ensured that the different early warning systems provide information and data through what we know as the Uganda National Integrated Early Warning Systems Bulletin.
However, despite the clear benefits of the anticipatory action, there is often hesitation among people to embrace this proactive approach due to the inherent uncertainties and perceived risks. Unlike traditional disaster response, where actions are taken in reaction to visible and immediate threats, anticipatory action requires commitment to preventive measures based on forecasts and predictions which may not materialize. This can lead to skepticism and reluctancy to invest resources in measures that may seem unnecessary if a predictable disaster does not occur.
The greatest challenge we're facing with anticipatory action largely is people fear to take risk. Unlike response, where the disaster has happened, you're seeing impact physically. You're seeing the impact. You're seeing roads destroyed. You're seeing houses destroyed. You're seeing even dead bodies. People are dead. So people are quick in making decisions if they are seeing physical impact. But anticipatory action, still so many stakeholders still have a fear of what we call acting in vain. implementing various actions and nothing happens. And that's one of the greatest barriers that we are breaking with anticipatory action.
While anticipatory action presents transformative approach to climate and disaster risk management in Uganda by emphasizing prevention over reaction, it has challenges due to inherent uncertainties and perceived risks. Nora Osende for UCTV News.
37 deacons and 9 seminarians have been conferred with diplomas in theology and pastoral studies after 4 years formation journey at St. Mary's National Major Seminary, Gaba. Reverend Father Giulio Guzetti Damiano of Moroto Diocese was the principal celebrant, who implored the graduates to gladly accept and serve with joy wherever they happen to be assigned.
St. Mary's National Major Seminary, Gaba, one of the 4 national seminaries in Uganda owned by the Uganda Episcopal Conference, has held its 51st graduation ceremony, upon which 37 deacons and 9 seminarians were conferred with diplomas in theology and pastoral studies during a twin event graced by the Moroto Diocese Bishop, Right Reverend Guzetti Damiano, earlier today. Shortly after the graduation procession, Bishop Damiano led the Thanksgiving Mass, upon which he advised the hopeful graduates to gladly accept and serve the church with joy wherever they happen to be assigned.
But be graciousness, be generous, right, in your service. And you say, duly but gladly, you see, with joy. Joyfully accepting wherever God wants to send you, the shepherd wants to send you, and happily serving him as God wants. Second advice, not for sordid money, he says, sordid money. We see that, of course, we need the resources to run a parish, to run a program, to run a diocese, but there is a difference by using the money and be used by money.
Right Reverend Damiano's homily further stressed the importance of preaching peace and justice in the fight against corruption, a voice that has deprived the economic development of many Catholic devotees.
We are going through a terrible time. Not only Uganda, it is a devilish thing all over, is corruption. Can you imagine? I was reading an article these days that the money, the resources better, eaten up by corruption are impossible to calculate. And this, of course, creates a lot of imbalances. People who are suffering, people who are deprived of their rights, people who are, then at the end, people who are fighting. Pope Francis last Sunday reminded us that the Spirit of God is the one, when we receive him or her, whatever you want to call him, gives us peace, makes us channels of peace. And peace is the instrument as well to overcome slowly corruption. This is one of the peripheries. You see, nowadays, I don't want to judge anybody, I don't want to criticize anybody. You know, politicians are it's a very important role in the society. If there are no politicians, there is confusion, there is mess. And we know what it means not to have a government that works. Government is very important, it must be there. But government also needs at times to be helped.
The rector of St. Mary's National Major Seminary, Gaba, Reverend Father Lazarus Riinda, reiterated the mission mandate to the soon-to-be priests, which requires them to shepherd the flock as God expects of them.
I beg you, let your joining the ministry not be simply an added number, but leave your specificity, your particularity. Shepherd the flock in the manner that God desires you to, as your theme has suggested. The mission mandate is right on our gate, and please, in spite of the excitement you are going through, raise your heads and read it again. Go and make disciples of all nations. You are mandated to bring many people and all people to God, not to chase them away. With your love, with your mission, with your ministering, with your example of life, may many people come to know God and hence be saved.
Joseph Kabale, UCTV News.
And from Parliament, the Parliamentary Vetting Committee this morning nominated the new Inspector General of Police, IGP Abbas Byakagaba, and Deputy Inspector General of Police, James Ochaya, who were appointed and pledged to serve the country with justice. The committee was chaired by the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among, and was attended by other members of Parliament, including the Leader of Opposition in Parliament, Joel Senyonyi. The events have taken place in Parliament.
IGP Abbas Byakagaba ne Deputy Mwami Ochaya James. Abantu bano nze ebibuuzo bye mbabuuzizza bibadde bibiri. Okusookera ddala embeera abapoliisi bakulembera gye babeeramu. Bali bubi, basula bubi, botunuulira barracks ze balina, zirina barracks biri mu constituency yange. Ogenda n'otunuulira abantu bano engeri gye basula, munnange nga basula ng'ebisolo, ate bakama baabwe balinga abatabifaako ebintu bino. So mbabuuzizza balina pulaani ki? Ate nga bwe mbabuuzizza mbadde ngamba ne bakabannange nti ebintu bino tuzze tubyogerako, naye abantu abo sente tuziyisa wano mu Parliament. Bano tubasabe baleete comprehensive plan. Then ffe tukidiscussingeko, tuteekeyo ssente abantu bano omusaala gwabwe gwongezebwe, n'ensula n'engeri gye basulamu eterezebwe. So mbabuuziza balina pulaani ki? Of course ne boogera kino nekiri sibadde convinced bulungi. Naye ekyokubiri ekikulu ennyo kye mbabuuzizza engeri gye bayisaamu bannansi. Omwaka oguwedde Uganda Human Rights Commission erina ebizibu byayo, naye yafulumya ripooti ng'eraga nti poliisi kye kitongole ekisinga okutulugunya abantu. Eyo ripooti baagifulumya mwaka guwedde. Naye mbabuuza abantu bano mwe mulina pulaani ki okukyusa ekifaananyi kya poliisi, kubanga n'ekitongole kya gavumenti kigamba nti mutulugunya abantu. Era ne mbabuuza lwaki nga poliisi erina obusosoze. Tuzze tulaba bannabyabufuzi abalala batalaaga ebitundu by'eggwanga ebyenjawulo awatali buzibu, ne bakuba enkuŋŋaana, ne bakola ne processions mu nguudo. Mutabani wa Mwai Museveni juzi yali Masaka, ne bamuleka ne banne ne basalako oluguudo ne batambula paka gye bagenda ne bakola activity yaabwe. Juzi Lydia Nabe nga bakumulonda kuba minisita yali kitugumu, era ne bakola procession mu luguudo paka gye bagenda ne bakola activity yaabwe n'abalala. Kaakati mbabuuziza ffe nga NUP batuyinako kakuku ki? Kuba twabawandiikira ebbaluwa ne bagireceiving ne tubalaga tugenda kubeera wano ne wano ne wano, naye ate twagenzeeyo ate tebatuwandiikira formally kutuddamu. Twawulira Justin Nanga ng'alina byayogeraawo naye tebatuddamu formally. Ne tugenda ekamuli mwalabye ebyabaddeyo, tiyagaasi, amasasi, tulina abantu abali mu malwaliro. In fact twawuliddeko nti waliwo omuntu omu eyakubidde rubber bullet n'afa. Tetunnakikakasa, tukyafuna information, naye abantu bangi balumiziddwa ne activities zaffe ne bazisazaamu. Kati nga mbabuuza balina kakuku ki ku NUP, kubanga abalala bonna bakola ebintu bino tebalina kyamaanyi kye banzizeemu, era kyovudde olaba nze nga nze sibawadde kalulu kange mu komiti, newankubadde yes namba ey'abannange nsinzizza amaanyi kubanga bo bangi, naye nze nga nze sibawadde.
Caritas Uganda has today launched a month of environment action aimed at protecting and conserving the environment. Speaking at a press conference, the Reverend Father Hilary Mwezangango, the National Director of Caritas Uganda, called upon government to enact a law on wetlands and consolidate various provisions under the law to protect wetlands in the country.
The global theme of this year's World Earth Day is Plastics versus Planet, while for World Environment Day is Land Restoration, Desertification and Drought Resilience. The themes for the two events point to a common challenge, namely irresponsible interaction by human beings with nature, driven by greed and a sense of superiority over the rest of creation. Yet, as Pope Francis pointed out in the encyclical Laudato Si, nature cannot be considered as something separate from ourselves or as a mere setting in which we live. We are part of nature. In light of the aforementioned Caritas Uganda observes and proposes the following. First, plastic pollution. The world is faced with rising pollution from plastics, and Uganda is not an exception. In 2019, during the enactment of the National Environment Act, Caritas Uganda, together with other civil society organizations, engaged Parliament to include in the Act stringent measures to deal with plastic polluters. Government should enact a specific law on wetlands or biodiversity to consolidate provisions under the various environmental laws as a means to enhance the protection of wetlands in the country. Accordingly, we urge the Ministry of Water and Environment to speed up consultations on the draft's wetlands bill so that it is tabled in Parliament at the earliest opportunity.
KANU is working tirelessly on the environmental issues and climate change impacts to address the impacts of climate change, and we share our perspective on the crucial themes on these important days. We invest in our planet, and not just as a theme, but as a call to action. We also are looking at environmental degradation that threatens our planet's health and our very existence. Now, as civil society organization, we play a vital role in advocating for sustainable practices and policies. In respect to the World Earth Day, this reminds us of our shared responsibility of our planet.
NEMA is not working alone. NEMA is working with other partners, and I'm very happy to tell you that Caritas has been one of the partners that has supported the number of activities that are initiated. And we would appreciate Caritas for that. Caritas has supported the national dialogue, which is going to happen on 29. Caritas is also supporting efforts in restoring the Elgon landscape through tree planting. They are also engaged in school activities that are planned, the school competition, environment competition. For example, the schools are going to be debating, the secondary schools will be debating, and then the primary schools will be engaged in activities like poems, drama, MDD activities.
Kasese town remains paralyzed after Nyamwamba River flooded and deviated from its original course. The river's new path now flows through Kitoro Cell, severely affecting Mumbuzi, Kizungu, Kisanga and Acholi quarters in Nyamwamba division of Kasese municipality. And more details come up next.
Business in Kasese town is still paralyzed following the flooding of Nyamwamba River that left its own channel and flooded Kasese town. The river left the original channel and is currently flowing through Chitoro Cell, hitting mostly Mumbuzi, Chizungu, Chisanga and Acholi quarters, all in Nyamwamba division of Kasese municipality. Samson Bihanikire, a resident of Mumbuzi Cell, explained that many people had sleepless nights and are stranded in submerged houses.
The biggest challenge was seen around Kasese High School, where logs were brought by the river and heaped them around an offshoot where there was a corner, and so water had to supply through three directions. One going through the rock gardens, another one going to hit the down parts of Mumbuzi village, and then the other one getting through the direction of Honorable Kampala if it goes home.
Juliet Mohindo explained that equally people's property have been destroyed and now living in fear because of the disaster.
This time it is too strong. We don't know whether we are going to survive because we are so suspicious. It has come with a lot of strength because our things have been destroyed, our buildings, even some of our properties.
Bihanikire added that although there is no life lost, houses and electricity poles have also collapsed.
So we have not yet registered any death case as a result of the outburst of the river, but at least most residents had a sleepless night because the water levels increased at around 1 a.m. in the night. We are happy that police and Red Cross moved around the town trying to awake people, alert them to get out of their houses, but some and most of them were even caught into their houses.
Kasese Municipality Deputy Town Clerk Zedekia Kambusu told us that the road in the central business area have been destroyed.
I mean, all the roads, especially the earth roads and the paved roads, have been washed away by this challenge. And our newly constructed using roads are already affected. We are happy they are paved roads and their level of resistance is a little bit high, but definitely because what is normally resilient, it will not leave the roads the same.
This barely comes 2 weeks after a landslide also killed more than 10 people in Kasese district. Nora Osende for UCTV News.
And from that, we take you straight to Today in History. Thank you for watching UCTV News. It's time now to take a break, and when we return, it will be time for the Rome Reports.
UCTV, good news for all.
Catch incredible stories of resilience, success.
You can manage that money
with a topping of inspiration.
Get interested in people, not interested in yourself.
Inspire, achieve, repeat.
You are watching UCTV, good news for all. For this and more, tune in to Kasese Get Radio 100.5 in Western Region, located at the hill of the Diocese of Kasese. KGR brings you all Catholic programs and an advertising platform in all our radio shows like Good Morning Renzori, Chama Towoka, Ukute, the business show, Propeller, the request show and sports, Evaluation, Bahinga Bakuluka, Late Night Show, and many others. Our other services include Isuzu Tipa, a no car, public address system, live band, Omokekera, an audio recording studio, and outside live broadcast. For more information, call 0773-597-166 or visit our website www.kasesegetradio.com. Kasese Get Radio, Omusondolia, the voice of truth.
UCTV, good news for all.
And with that ends our news tonight. Thank you so much for being a part of it. Do stay tuned to the Uganda Catholic Television. I am Sunday Gloria Abwatch.